Hello there. I have not been reading a lot of fiction recently, hence the lack of videos. Not that I ever uploaded regularly to begin with, but I really just haven't even been reading much recently. I think I was forcing myself to read fiction because I thought I was going to be still into fiction because I went on like a fiction spree for like 6 months. And then, yeah, it turns out somewhere along like January, I just stopped being super into fiction and I wanted to read like, I don't know, I didn't know what I wanted to read yet, but then I got into like finance books, and yes, there's a little bit of cringe to that, but I like what I like, okay? And it's a phase anyway. So I'll be on to the next thing. Give me like a few more months. Anyway, I do finish the things that I start. So I had to, make a video on the picture of Dorian Gray. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to come to YouTube with the same hot take that everyone else has on this book. And it's not like it really needs my approval since it is obviously a classic. So I wasn't really sure what I was planning on doing here with a video. But then I was thinking about how the ideas in the book could be applied to the society that it was written for versus like contemporary times. Specifically, I was thinking about the emphasis on beauty and aesthetics in general. And okay, this is my attempt at a hot take. I think that if this story were to happen in real life in contemporary times, it would not be nearly as disgraceful as it was interpreted to be at the time of its publication. The idea of making some kind of deal to have your physical beauty preserved and having so much value placed on beauty and aesthetics that it kind of corrupts you. Not that Dorian's desire to stay beautiful is what corrupted him. It's also kind of the idea that if you do corrupt things, but you're beautiful and you can kind of get away with it, that you will do more corrupt things. So they kind of feed each other, like beauty and corruption kind of feed into each other in that way. And I don't mean to state this as fact. I don't believe that beauty makes you corrupt or anything like that. But I do think that there is a possibility, and it's kind of demonstrated in the book, that if you benefit from pretty privilege, sort of, you might just do more corrupt things because you know you can get away with it. You don't really face repercussions. Like even Basil, when he visits Dorian before getting murdered, he just assumes that Dorian couldn't have done any of these things. Like he addresses all these rumors about him and he's like, Dorian, like, what's going on? I don't believe any of these things about you. You're too beautiful. Like someone who's done bad things, they would be like, it would show on their face, you know? It ages a person. If you're beautiful, people just assume better things about you. They assume that you're more intelligent. They assume that you're more charitable, just kinder, just you have a better character in general. I think I'm talking in circles here, but I think the thing that I want to get across is if people assume you to be a good person based on your pretty privilege or any privilege, you're just less likely to get in trouble for things. You're more likely to get away with being corrupt. And if you get away with something that's wrong more frequently, you are more likely to repeat that behavior. And then I was kind of thinking about how celebrities, I think this applies to them so frequently. I'm going to bring up a certain celebrity who I think serves as a good example in what I'm about to say. That does not mean that I have like this burning hatred for this celebrity. I know they've probably got a very intense fan base and I'm a little scared, but let's be honest. Ariana Grande, that woman is blackfishing. She's been blackfishing for years. Now she's like, I know she kind of got in like a little bit of trouble, right? For that magazine cover shoot thing where I don't know, she got like a fox eye thing done and then like her makeup, I don't know, she was like, she very much seemed like she was trying to look Asian, right? I don't think it was an accident. She has gotten a little bit more negative attention for those behaviors recently, but it's just very recently. Like she's been doing it for so much longer than people have been discussing it at all. And yeah, I genuinely think it's just because she's super pretty. Like, I think she gets away with it because she's gorgeous. Like, she's always gonna have a fan base. Even people who've done, like, extremely horrible things, like Ted Bundy, people adore him. Like, people literally think that he must be innocent just because he's a very attractive man. Like, it's definitely real. I don't really need to explain to anyone that pretty privilege exists. But I think it's so much more significant now than it ever was before. In like the mid 19th century, to be an attractive person, people valued character over beauty, whereas now I wouldn't say that's true. I would say that most people would say that they value character over beauty, and in very personal, close ties, that might be true. But in general, in the way that we view other people who are not necessarily super close to us or in our lives, I think we value beauty a lot more. And it's easy to tell why. I mean, internet, social media, and like the rise of beauty procedures in general. Mind you, having a good character in like the 19th century isn't really the same as having a good character now. Like for a woman, having a good character and having virtues would be like being obedient, being like submissive to your husband. And then also, I was thinking about how like we try to preserve our youth and beauty now, like how Dorian did with that painting, right? Just by wishing it. But now we have like so many procedures and like anti-aging techniques that like we're doing so much to like stop aging and to like try to stay beautiful or become beautiful. And in my opinion, that is definitely at the cost of other people, especially lower classes. I do think that that is another way that beauty and corruption are very linked. Even if people are honest about their procedures, whatever, it's still raising the beauty standard and it's still inaccessible to a large class of people. And honestly, I don't think that any kind of procedures are really like liberating for women. I genuinely think that men who, for the most part, men do profit off of these procedures that women are buying into for the most part. Even makeup, everything to enhance your beauty that you have to purchase, every form of beauty that is commodified, I think that it's there to distract women from their own oppression and oppress them in the process. Of course, I wear makeup, and would I ever get a beauty procedure done? Like, would I ever have plastic surgery? Would I ever get injections? I really don't know. To be honest, at this point in my life, I hope not, because just I've come to a view where I just don't think I should do that. Like I want children. If I have daughters, I don't want them to be like having one of my features and then wondering why I changed mine. Like, are they gonna think that I think that they look bad? Like, I don't know. I just don't think I can do that personally. But can I say really that I'm never going to have a procedure like that if I can ever afford it at some point? Not really, because I'm just as susceptible to the influences of today's culture as anyone else is. And I don't mean to like put personal blame on anyone who's had beauty procedures, because it's hard not to, like, and I get it, like I understand fully the desire to want to do something like that. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter if people are transparent about the procedures they've gone through, although I think it is obviously better if they do tell the truth about what procedures they've had. But really, even if they tell the truth, they're still changing the way we perceive beauty. Like someone who has had no procedures but is attractive, in 10 years, like they're not going to fit the beauty standards anymore, because like they just keep getting higher and further away from what human beings actually look like. And of course, that leads to kind of a visible difference between the classes. Like if you are lower class and you just can't afford that, you can visibly see it. And I think that that's wrong. I mean, obviously there's already visible signs of class division in just people. You can kind of place people in their class based on what they look like sometimes. But I think it's just going to become like kind of dystopian. It's just the more people who go through procedures, the more the scale for beauty changes and shifts away from what humans really look like. Like, I don't think we're really doing any work to fight against pretty privilege, and I think it's only becoming more extreme with time. I don't know, that's my hot take. Again, I don't mean to blame anyone who's had any kind of procedure. Like, I wear makeup, I'm wearing makeup right now. I put on extra makeup to film a video. Like, I get self-conscious. But overall, those industries, not the individuals, but the industries, I think they're so corrupt, so corrupt. And also, this doesn't apply to reconstructive surgery. That is completely different. It's cosmetic surgery that I have a problem with. And not even just surgeries, but like even some like really common things like getting your lashes done. And like, look, I'm seriously looking into getting my lashes done, and I know like so many people do it. Again, I don't think it's an individual problem. I think it's the industry as a whole. Like, the fact that we're kind of, I know so many people with lash extensions that like the reason I want them is because I want to keep up with what everyone else seems to be doing. Anyway, I went on a tangent because that is a topic that I am very interested in, very infuriated by. But I do think it's a very interesting lens to kind of put over the picture of Dorian Gray and read it from that perspective, with the idea of in mind of how does my pursuit of beauty affect other people? How does it affect my own character? Also, I was kind of thinking about how like social media, you know, I was going to bring up social media. Social media accounts functionally are Dorian Gray not aging and not really showing any of his worst attributes, not really being a sincere representation of himself. And then us in real life, the people behind the accounts, we are the paintings of Dorian Gray. We're the people who we actually do bear the marks of aging and anything else that we've gone through. I think that is what makes this book more relevant to contemporary times versus when it was actually published. People want to be preserved so badly, or people want their beauty to be preserved. They care about their beauty more than anything else. And I'm not trying to say like these sheeple, oh my god. I really truly do not believe it's the individual's fault. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted this to be a relatively short video. I know this wasn't super organized. It's not really a review or a video essay of any kind, but I kind of just wanted to like pretend to be talking to a friend about the thing that I took 5 months to read. Until we meet again.